Welcome to AgInfoTech LLC's online video series. My name is Tim Norris and I'm founder and CEO of AgInfoTech LLC. We want to take this opportunity to provide a more in-depth look at the data analysis products and solutions that we offer. As any product or solution, it's only as good as the team that stands behind it. This is a picture of our current staff of 10 people here at AgInfoTech, and we're totally dedicated to precision agriculture and helping our customers implement these tools and practices. Well, as we've stated before, AgInfoTech likes to describe the precision ag cycle as a continuous wheel starting with planning and training, and the spoke of the wheel we want to talk about today is data analysis. What we want to do with this is basically turn data into decisions. We can do that a couple different ways. We have our fertility programs where we can turn that data into a recommendation or a solution there. We also have several different software packages that we can offer you, and we have several data management programs that you can enroll in as well. We've also created a new tool called AgriVault. Starting with fertility programs, we discussed this in the previous video about data collection, so we'll just hit it a wee little bit here. But we have three programs: Replacement, which simply replaces the nutrients based off the yield map; Balancer, which uses grid soil sampling for the drawdown and the build up of the fertility levels, but we use whole field averages for the yields; or Complete, which is a combination of the two, and I think the most accurate way. Software, we offer SMS Basic, SMS Advanced, and SMS Water Management. We also offer FarmWorks and Surface software as well. We'll discuss the Surface and the Water Management software from AgLeader much more detail in the water management portion of the video. And then we have our new tool called AgriVault. As far as data management programs, we have three different data management programs: Monitor, Report, and Analyze. The Monitor program basically will read in your planting and harvest maps directly from your display and will print them out exactly the way you collected the data. We'll also store that raw data in reports in AgriVault. However, if we need to clean up that data, we will charge you $65 an hour to work with it. We also have a program called Report. This is $1 an acre plus a one-time $10 per field setup fee. What we do is we go out and we set up and create fields in SMS with field boundaries, FSA, and crop insurance unit numbers. Then we'll create a management setup file for all of your displays. We'll create an FSA and crop insurance planting report for you so that you can easily give that report to FSA to report your acreage or to your crop insurance agent. We'll also create crop insurance and personal harvest reports and maps, and we'll store all the raw data. So Analyze comes with everything in the previous two, plus we will classify those fields by production. So what we want to do is say, okay, these are your top third fields, your middle third fields, and your lower third fields. Then we'll give you a yield by variety report, a yield by soil type report, a yield by soil type by variety. We'll also classify those by variety and by soil type as well. So here's your top third of the fields, here's how they did by each variety. Here's the bottom third of your fields, and here's how they perform by each variety. And we'll give you a whole farm correlation analysis. This kind of tells us what inputs seem to have the most impact on yield. And we'll do a correlation analysis based on classification. So we'll say the top third of your fields, here's the input that had the most weight or the most impact on yield, and then same with the bottom third and the middle third. AgriVault is our in-house web-based software that's primary purpose was to streamline communication between AgInfoTech employees and the customer. However, it seems to have grown way beyond that original scope. You can use this tool to place and track soil sample orders and results. You can also use this tool to deliver data, and you can use it to deliver data to us for analysis as well. Well, kind of the need that I saw in trying to figure out how, this big problem a lot of growers told me is, what do I do with the data? I've got years and years of data, but I really do not know what to do with it. A lot of people own software and don't know how to use it properly. The ones that want to sometimes get frustrated and just can't figure it out. Well, our data analysis program, I thought the monitor and the analysis program are really a little too canned, and people wanted to look at data different ways, and we would kind of run out of time running reports for them, or they felt like they didn't want to ask us to run a new report. Growers, I really think, want to be able to work with their data quickly and easily. Most don't have the time or desire to really learn software to properly analyze the data themselves. Even if you do know how to get the reports out of SMS, it takes way too long to generate them. So I felt there needed to be a solution. That solution needed to be easy to use, needed to be accessible in the field, and needed to be accurate, needed to show where the data came from, and it needs to be able to sort the data in agronomically meaningful ways. It also needs to have spatial weather data incorporated in. We need to know if that data is statistically sound or not, and yes, it needs to be fast, just like Ricky Bobby. So the solution is AgriVault. It's a web-based tool with the grower's planting, soil, fertility, and harvest data that allows you to easily generate your own reports. It will incorporate spatial rainfall data as well. So we're collecting rainfall data for every field that you have out there. You'll be able to generate several different reports of the data: yield by variety, yield by soil type, planting population, yield by singulation, yield by planting date, yield by rainfall. You'll also have several combo reports like yield by soil type and variety. So it'll do the yield, show all the soil types, and then all the varieties planted on those different soil types and how each variety yielded by soil type. It'll also allow you to sort that data by farms, by fields, by production level, and it'll even allow you to say, I don't want to look at any of the data in the headland, or I want to include the data from the headland. AgriVault will also normalize the data by crop year so you can compare multiple years of data. It will also allow the grower to make notes on the fields, and they'll show up when you run the reports. So if you made a note on a field like it flooded in the right after I planted it, or we had a car that ran through the field, or something, cattle got out and were in this field for a week, any of those type of notes that you put on there, if you try to use that data and there was a note on the field, it will show up on that report that there's a note there and that there was a problems. It also comes up with a confidence level of the data. So based on the data we have, how confident does AgInfoTech really feel that that data is good, solid data? So how does it work? We basically compile all the data into SMS. We wrote an equation out for each year that builds a single layer that has soil type, planting information, harvest information in it. We wrote an export template to export those files out and bring them into AgriVault. So we import that data into AgriVault. It'll grab the weather data from Weather Underground and use the latitude and longitude from the field. For the confidence level, it figures out the CV of the data. It looks at the acres that the data came from and the rainfall, the temperature compared to average, and whether the data came from the headland or not. It also looks to see if there's a note on the data or not. And then actually after that, it comes up with a confidence level of how confident we really feel in this data. You can also export those points to Google Earth or Google Maps to see where the data came from, to make sure that the data you're wanting to look at and you're getting the report on is actually the data that you asked for. So when you log into the system, this is what it's going to look like. This is the grower dashboard. It tells you the date up in the upper right hand corner. On the left hand top there, it shows you if you have any field soil sampling information, if you have any soil sample requests open, if those requests are ready or not, whether they're sampled or whether they're completed. On the right hand side in the upper right hand corner, it shows all the proposals and quotes that are out there, whether you bought one, you declined the order, whether you have it there and we're waiting on parts. It'll show you the status of all your orders. Down on the bottom, you can create variable rate prescription quotes. You can manage soil test requests. You can manage your farms and fields. You can set your management levels. You can add field notes. You can store stuff in AgriDrive. You can request service. So if you have a problem with your unit, you can request service. It'll go on our dashboard that your unit needs to be serviced. And then we have our AccuSeason weather module as well. And then down in the bottom we have the yield crawler. So this is what the yield crawler looks like. You come in and very easily choose what type of report you want, whether it's yield by soil type, whether it's yield by variety. Choose the years of the data you want to look at, whether you want to look at all management levels or just your high management, your low management, whether you want to look at corn, whether you want to look at soybeans, or both. Whether you want to exclude the data from the headland, include the data from the headland, or if you want to look at things just by a certain planting period. You also can just pick 2 varieties to look at, or 1 variety, or multiple, or just leave them all. Or you can just choose certain fields to look at. So very dynamic, robust tool. Once that's done, the filter goes away and it'll show you your yield by soil type. And so starting at the top, we're seeing BOA soil type. The normalized yield is 101%. That was planted on 10.4 acres. There's both corn and soybeans in that, and we have an average confidence level. Down below that, BOB is a 59% of average. There's 25.44 acres. Corn and soybeans were planted on that, and we have a good confidence level in that data. And if you hit the map button, it'll show you where that data came from. As far as the AccuSeason, this allows us to collect weather information for every field that you have, and we can collect 7 years worth of, we can go back 7 years on weather data. So each field is going to, you can look at it on a month by month or a growing season, and you can get a map of the rainfall. So you can instantly see here that we had 4 rainfall events during the days of month of June that totaled over 1/2 of an inch, and then you can see there was rain just about every single day up until July 9th, and then we had 3 days of no rain, and then we had a little bit of rain on the 13th, the 14th, and the 15th, 16th, 17th, and 18th. So not much those days, less than 1/10 of an inch, but we had a little more than 2/10 on those days. You also can see your high and low temperatures for the last month, or whatever planting period you want to look at. Well, for more information about this or any of our programs, please visit our website at www.aginfotech.net or give us a call at 740-507-2503.